There we go.
That's
Welcome, everyone, to Porch Talk. This is your host, Alan. I have the Sons of Venus. Yeah,
good
I
evening.
see. I see you over there, John. I, we're here to celebrate the release of their third album. And John Sully, tell us a little bit about this third album because it was such a masterpiece. Let's go.
Thank you, Alan. Oh, so good to hear you again, man. I love hearing your voice. You are the man. Thank you so much for inviting us again. But before I start, Igor, I can't see your mouth. I just see your nose, like your, yeah, there you go.
The nose is too big.
There you go.
I need you
I want to see your whole face. I miss
a
you.
little
I
bit.
haven't
I'm a
seen
little
you.
Jew.
Yeah, that's all. Hello, everybody, because I want to say hello to everyone too, because I haven't seen anyone until this. We zoomed this morning. But it's great to be here with Alan. So yes, thank you. We just released our third album. What was it? 2 days ago, right?
Crisis to Crisis.
Crisis to
Crisis to
Crisis.
crisis.
Third Sons of Venus album. Yeah, it's great. We released it on Glass Tone Records. It's great to partner up with them. This is our first record release with them. Glass Tone's a cool label from the UK. They partnered up with blanking out.
Rough Trade Records.
Trade Records. Sorry, thank you, Igor.
And the other one.
Yes, yes. So yeah, so we're very excited. It just came out, and what can I tell you? We did it. We basically made two records during the whole COVID debacle. This was more like coming out of COVID that we did this one.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the COVID situation, we ended up in different places. We weren't together. The second record that we did, we also did during COVID, but it was right when it started. So we were still in New York City together. But then as COVID progressed, we ended up going to different places. The record was actually recorded in three different areas. I did the basic tracks, then I sent it to Ruslan to lay drums down, and then Igor laid the bass down.
You're taking the tool method, the
Is that what
method.
is that what they're doing? Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so
And so, what better two groups of people to work with other
Yeah,
than
totally.
Igor and Ruslan? These guys are top notch.
Yes, yes.
And so last time we really focused on Living in Blood,
Oh, that's right, because it was a
and
single.
that was a single. And now we're looking at When Love Turns and the entire
Second
album.
single.
Right.
And so
Correct.
y'all have had a lot of great press. Are you still in Florida, John?
I am. I have one more week down here, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. But
Are you trying to avoid?
professionally,
Are you trying to avoid the Canadian smoke?
I did end up. I didn't try to, but I'm very glad that I did. Yes. But I'll be up there again, and I heard a rumor that it's probably going to stick around for most of the summer. It's going to come. It's
Yeah.
going to
Holy
come
shit.
and go. Yeah. But yeah, that's how it's going. I know some people, friends of mine. They do a circus. They have a touring circus, and they lost the whole tour up there. Packed the
What?
whole thing up. Yeah, they brought a tour. They were getting ready to do a whole full tour up in Canada, but most that happened at the same time as the fire, so they had to cancel the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Igor Ruslan, what's it like up in NYC with the big orange cloud?
Wow, that was actually tripping. And I mean, literally, I was tripping because I was driving in the morning at work and I noticed I started giggling, just like, I was like, what the hell is going on? But by evening, when I was working on the roof that point, and I see like everything is orange, and that I'm not here. I'm just like, wow.
Mhm.
So I finished the job as quickly as soon as possible. I went home and closed the windows, took a shower, had some whiskey, and now I'm fine. I guess I'm
Hey,
fine.
I actually left the, 'cause I have a newborn, right? So I got a newborn and he's 1.5 months old.
the
Like,
more I get to know Igor.
oh, you have no idea. There's more.
Yeah, stop right there.
Yeah.
Look
You
at
gotta live
Alan.
on
Alan, no, Alan
yes.
doesn't even have to know. He can just imagine.
No, but so
You live on the high note.
I got a newborn, and you know, I mean, you watch this kid grow into a bigger kid, and you know he's just learning to breathe. I mean, you can see that he's like the way he's breathing, he's just breathing underwater,
Yeah.
and all this smoke just we weren't gonna go anywhere, but the smoke. I mean, our throat was hurting, our head, my head was
But
spinning,
that's
eyes
interesting
watering.
because it went with you because you went to Maryland and it moved to Maryland, and then
Yes,
and next day it's been over here.
Mhm.
yes,
So
that's
I
true,
mean,
but like in Maryland. Oh
well,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, whatever. But in Maryland, they have the central like AC unit, so it clears up
Mhm.
the air. Whereas in New York, it's just a little AC. So every time you turn them on, the smoke just blows in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just very difficult to breathe. But yeah, you're right. We left and it left
yeah,
with us.
yeah, it was following you, just like
Just follow
wait,
me.
See,
yeah, because
Ruslan has the right idea. You smoke a cigarette and it doesn't let that smoke come in because the
Well,
cigarette smoke gets in there. So that's really the right way to do it. You
that,
block it. It's all a blocking type of thing.
I
That's
mean
just it.
well, you know
That's
what,
just it.
you know what? Actually, this week I was sick,
Oh,
and and uh,
yeah.
pro- and that's probably like it was a good thing because it was black all my uh
Yeah, all you have to do
breathing
is just get bronchitis
breathing
and then you're
holes, let's
fine.
say. It was blocking all my breathing holes.
Oh my
Well, I'll tell
God.
you this, and this might be more directed toward John, but it's so good, like connecting with Sons of Venus on social media. I've really enjoyed the videos that are introducing the new tracks and everything going on with the promotion of the record. Uh, John, tell me a little bit about, man, this crisis to crisis. We talked a little bit about the inspiration, but man, you're just putting out these videos that are really, I wouldn't say provocative, but they're really in tune with what the record and what these songs are doing, and
Yeah, it's funny.
they're a song for the time.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, it's a little obvious. I mean, I like what we'll talk about is that it's always kind of been this way, that where I feel like something about there does seem to be a separation about people who are leading society in one way or controlling society, and then the part of society that is led or controlled, depending on which way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think crisis is a psychological tool to get people to focus on where you want them to go. And but I think what would happen is that a few years ago, if you kind of brought it out that something like that was happening, I think you would have a majority of people say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory." I think that's changed now. I think people are starting to go, maybe there's something to this. So I think that's what makes the record timely. I think this has always been going on, but now maybe more people look at that and go, "Oh, because that's what I feel." People are really coming back to me and saying what you're saying, that they're going, "I really feel this record for a lot of those reasons." Um, but yeah, so we put a little bit on the nose. We did put it on the nose with the title to say that that is really going on. But at the same time, for someone like me who I feel I've been aware of these things that's going on. I mean, I have to be honest, I'm a real history buff. History is my hobby. I enjoy studying history. When I was a little kid, I read the entire encyclopedia. I was enamored by it. And I loved it from A to Z, every page. Every stupid subject that's in an encyclopedia, I really enjoyed. And what that did is it kind of raised my senses of patterns. It allowed me to see things that maybe happened in like the 60s, happened again in the 70s, and then happened again in the 80s. So, what's the great saying that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes?
That's it.
Yeah, so music is the same, right? If you study music, music is really kind of like a time machine. It takes things from the past and then it reinvents them for a future idea, right? So that's a little bit like what this record's about. We're kind of taking something that's always been happening, but we're just updating it for today, making it so
Yeah,
people can
absolutely.
see it with the focus of what's happening now. But I think it's something that's always been going on. It's always been there.
And one thing that I'll say, and Ruslan and Igor could probably follow this up, is I'm from Alabama, and like when it comes to history, it's typical history from what comes from history class. But a lot of people, especially people who have experienced history in Europe or Eastern Europe or other places, is like, no, this is kind of relevant real quick when it comes to my grandparents or other people. It's like we're kind of seeing like some similar, like you said, it doesn't repeat, it rhymes.
Yeah.
So Igor or Ruslan, I mean, what do y'all think? What's going on around here?
Well, I think John sounds right. Uh, but yeah, history repeats every 100 years. I mean, for at least last 2 centuries, the history was repeating with the same wars, with the same crisis, with the same scenario, and each century we're living with a new, let's say, program or something like this.
Mhm.
And right now that's what's happening, the crisis, like the old world ending and new ones becoming, and it's gonna be last for this century until people gonna come up with a new scenario of us living, what should we wear, what we should drink, live, to believe to, to put a new God for us and a new course. That's I think this is what's happening. And
Mhm.
that's what's happening like exactly 100 years ago. Revolutions, pandemics, war. And yeah,
I think we
so
have
we,
a
we
unique opportunity right now,
Yeah.
and y'all have hit the nail on the head. And the point of crisis to crisis, is to be able to be so well spoken in these events and to be able to exchange these ideas to where we don't have to do this again.
Hmm.
We can come out of this.
Yes.
but the thing is, to us not to do the same thing. Why it's all repeating, and all these scenarios can be achieved because people. I mean, it's really strong to say, but in general, I think most of the people don't really, realize or trying to understand what a God is, what is the politic is, what is the nature is, where they coming from, where they're
Sure.
going. And if people are gonna look in that direction, at least starting from themselves, like who am I, what the hell I'm doing here, and where I came from, and where I'm going, at least I'm gonna answer these three simple questions. I think the climate of relationship of people is gonna change, and I think in that moment and that way people's gonna respect and have more love for each other if
Sure.
they gonna think about this.
I think it could have been like the album is titled Crisis to Crisis, but the crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis, and just
Very
like
good. Dot,
under
dot,
the,
dot.
it,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it is, really.
That's what it is.
One,
That's a good point. I
one,
like that. I think that's
it's
something
like,
that can be
if
added to the
uh,
promoting of it. Yes.
I mean, it could have been like, I'm just thinking, I'm just going crisis like this, like a new,
Oh,
or a
we're
or a
losing you, Igor.
huh?
We're losing you a little bit.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you're stuttering or something.
Oh my god! Not stuttering.
I think he was just repeating crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis.
One of my favorite jokes is a joke that goes, two archaeologists are digging, and then one guy goes, "Oh my God, I found the oldest newspaper in the world." And the guy goes, "That's amazing. What does it say?" It says, "Crisis in the Middle East."
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Igor, go ahead.
No, I had a thought. I forgot. God damn it!
No, it was a good thought. It was
It
a
was
good
a
thought.
great.
We
It
got
was
it.
the best. It was
No,
the
no,
best. Like last
we
time.
heard it. We heard it. I think you left on a high
No,
note. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think
He
crisis
was
so.
to
saying
crisis to
crisis to
crisis to
crisis
crisis.
to dot dot dot. That's
Dot. That was the
yeah,
thought,
I like that.
and there was something else. It was a follow up, but I
So,
can't.
but the interesting moment that people, in a way, they need the crisis, right? Like,
Like a drug.
I think not like a drug, for example, for the good movie, you needed some kind of crisis, right, in the middle. For
You
the
Drama.
got to
good
have a
song, you
plot,
needed
right?
drama,
Yeah,
right?
plot,
And,
yeah.
and because it's also inspiring, because through the crisis, people become stronger, smarter,
They overcome.
yeah. So, it works in the both way. It depends how you use this. I mean, some people got hurt by crisis. Some people got hurt and inspired by this.
And
Just,
as I sit down
and
with
some people just
crisis
released
to
album
crisis,
with
I
this name.
I remembered what I was gonna
go
say.
ahead.
Yes.
I was
Go.
gonna, I got turned on, because I follow Alan on Instagram, and I got turned on. He does this other southern, which you did today, right? The
Yeah.
what is it called?
The
I forget. I
the
have it
Mississippi
written.
Superman.
Oh,
Mississippi.
nice.
So he does this. It's like, I guess it's like southern, like deep south polit political opinionated funny show.
Yeah.
That's actually very, very cool. That's what I was gonna. That was more to the guys, not to you. You obviously know you're doing it, but I don't know if the
Yeah.
guys.
Okay.
I
Yes.
know.
Turn us on. You have to turn us on.
Yeah.
But I wanted to continue something that I thought was, Ruslan was making the point that they need it, and then Alan was saying, like, to overcome it. And I heard this great podcast by this doc. The show is called the Z Dog MD Show, and I love saying dog. I have friends that I put dog at the end of names.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's just, yeah, right? So, like, when this guy is calling it Z Dog, but he's actually like he's a doctor, of psychology from Stanford. So, and that he's using dog, I get a kick out of that. But they're talking about now some of the experiments that they're doing at Stanford, which is really interesting. Is that what they're finding out, that consciousness is based on species. So humans have a similar consciousness, birds have a similar consciousness, cats have a similar consciousness. So they realize that species and consciousness are aligned. And I just watched this. I just listened to this yesterday. And if you remember, Igor and Ruslan, we were writing when we were texting. We were talking about AI, and I was saying how AI is a species. That's the difference. It's a different species. And it's so weird that this guy was talking about that consciousness is a species. And this is the point that I was trying to make, that the AI is going to be intelligent, as intelligent or more intelligent. But not only that, because its intelligence will work different than us, it'll be a different species than us.
Well, it's going to carry on the sins of all of us.
And then more so, it's going to create.
And the worst part of us, John.
Yeah.
Like,
and not only
it's
that,
it's gonna go on Reddit. It's gonna go on. It's gonna go on 4chan.
Oh, it's gonna go past. It's gonna go past. But what was really interesting is that what they realized, that the key to consciousness, why consciousness exists, is for survival. It's a tool for surviving. And then what happens, what they notice when they start to look, so since it's species, it's broken off into multiple sciences where some people who deal with species, they deal with the extinction of species, right? Because they realize if it has to do with survival, then why do some species not survive? If you see where I'm going. So what's happening is that this almost the more knowledge and the more consciousness you get, and the more you start to lift the veil of what's really going on in reality, the more and the less you start to believe that this life is a reality, and you start to realize that there's another reality. We could say whatever it is, source reality, spiritual reality, God reality, whatever you want to call it. There's some other reality that's there. You're moving towards extinction. Because you're not going to do the same things you need to do to survive. Where somebody who doesn't really have that kind of open consciousness, they're going to do whatever they have to do to make money. They're going to do whatever they have to do to procreate. They're going to do anything they have to do to make sure that their gene goes on. And
well, you're naming off a couple of things right there, which turns to legacy.
Yes.
Is not only building wealth for family, and also just leaving a legacy by procreation. And so, I mean, what do you say? What is the answer? I mean, what else should we do?
Yeah, well, what's interesting, if you look overall, the population is actually shrinking. Less and less people are having children. Overall, families themselves have gotten smaller. It's not uncommon, just like Ruslan said, 100 years ago, or maybe even 50 years ago, families were at least 4 kids, 5, and it wasn't uncommon, 6, 7. You know, you had way bigger families. It was a normal thing.
Oh yeah.
Now it's the average is really 1 kid, and a big family is 2 kids. And for now, we really have the first time where people are just deciding not to have kids for their entire life. So there does seem to be, we've reached this point, we've kind of created the AI now that's creating itself, and that's kind of going to go on to this thing. So it's back to, like, you know, before, there is this kind of thing about survival, and that's that drama. So are they amping up this crisis thing? Are they just keep hitting us with crisis because they're trying to keep people engaged and say, look, you got to do this, and you got to overcome this, and you got to overcome this, because they feel that people themselves are just, you know, are not keeping that whole thing going anymore. Yeah, it's a bizarre question, and I only brought it up because I just heard this. It was a great podcast. What's his name? I have his name here now. Dr. Zubin Damania. I don't know, Damania. It sounds Greek. Zubin Damania. It sounds like a Greek name.
I'll check it out. Not familiar.
Yeah, check it out. So, and the show is called Z-Dog MD.
Yeah. I'm interested in those conversations. I mean, we are not reproducing, and a lot of people, maybe it's economical or whatever else it is a lot of people are not foregoing into carrying on life, and that is a bit disturbing, because we need people to continue having people. That's a fact. So I'm curious as to how AI will turn on this. And then Apple releases that they have these new headset goggles to where, not only can you be inundated by these phones, but you can wear it on your face. the whole thing, you know, it's ridiculous.
You don't see any of the real world or whatever this world is. Now you're seeing a whole, But Ruslan makes a good point on that. How there's somebody looking through our goggles. There's some source behind us that's looking through here, and then we're gonna look through another, and it just keeps kind of going, you know, down and down through the multiverse. You know, yeah.
Well, let's move it back to the record. Tell me a little bit about when love turns, man.
Yeah, let's stop this Joe Rogan nonsense. Let's talk about the good stuff.
So, why don't guys take it up the video? Let's talk about the video. Tell us about the video.
Ruslan,
Please, Igor.
You want me to take it?
Yes.
The video was animated well, the song obviously written by John. I think would. I mean, those are some great lyrics. You know, when love turns to hate, all you have is simple but very to the point and precise and concise. And I love those lyrics, and I love that song. Um, an anime. It's a collaboration between us and this animator in Russia, named Katya Mizantseva, who is brilliant and amazing. And she did this psychedelic, trippy thing, to our music she got it out of her brain. She does these animations which just like drag one into, they move from one idea to the other. And it's like every time I watch this video, I constantly see and hear new things about it
Mm-hmm.
that I notice. It's pretty. I mean, I love it. And we're gonna try to apply to some festivals with it, along with Katya maybe. And I I mean I think it's an awesome. She did an amazing job. She she picked it. It's our shortest song on the record. So we actually it Ruslan was talking to her and she but she said she didn't pick it because it's the shortest. But
You don't seem to believe her.
I mean, she keeps saying it. The more she says it, the more I'm like, yeah, I don't know. No, but she picked. It was truly, and I mean, I think in this band, that's kind of why we like collaborating. It's not like it's a collaboration. So we kind of just gave her the whole album. Like, which song do you feel? And she picked the shortest one. But I I love that music video. I think it came out great, and it's the one. I love the fact that there's so many. What is it? 7 songs, right, John?
Six.
6. Um, but it's like there's a lot of messages and politics, and then you have that one song that's it's just about love. It's about just a human kind of. I love when this happens in an album that you have like this heavy album and one song that kind of just, but then there's this side of things,
Well,
that I mean I think it's a very conceptual album.
I think we each album will have this kind of song. I think on the first record it was Hold On, and on the second one I think it was Snow. Snow was really beautiful.
Yeah, you were right. You are correct. Yes.
and
That's a beautiful song. Snow is a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
we're entering into an age to where you can't really have a queen, so to speak, when it comes to a band or a Led Zeppelin, to where people are just innovated by whatever they're induced by. And so this third album, Crisis to Crisis, right now I'm looking at it on Apple. The first 2 songs are the star songs. Those are not even like the singles put out.
Yeah.
And so it's so interesting, like how people are ingesting it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're just pulling it up and just hitting those first 2, and they're not even getting to the guts of it. And man, when it comes to progressive rock, when it comes to putting a workout like this, props, man. Like from Dead Languages to the Art If Coincidence.
Yeah.
Solid work. And I really should go back and listen to more, but job well done, fellas.
Thank you.
Oh,
We
thank you.
appreciate that. And you brought up you brought up a good point. Yeah, so we're not thinking singles, like, so we didn't necessarily do the videos because they were the singles. The concept for the Living in Blood video was just something the minute we had the name Sons of Venus, I saw the whole video, and it was really something, it was really a passion that I knew it would be such a strong visual statement. And because the music and the video in my head happened at the same exact time. I was watching the video play in my head because of the name of the band. And then watching that video, I heard the soundtrack that was going with the video. So it all happened instantaneously. And luckily, we have another collaborating artist that we work with for video that we've done many things with that we just love to work with. It's our friend Tanya that I knew just communicating with her this idea, she would pick up on it. We just seem, one thing the three of us have in common, and then Tanya joins in this too, is that we're sharing a common vision that's not an individual vision. It's a vision when we come together that we can all see. Something magnetic happens, and when the four magnets come together, all of a sudden we can see it. So I just knew I need to share this idea with you, and then she just got it, and we were able to create the video. So that's why that was done, not necessarily because it was a single. It was because it was something that I was just desperately wanted to see. And then luckily for me, when I explained it to her, she got it and said, yes, we got to do this. And it happened. It happened. And then the same with the second video was really, in a lot of ways, I believe it was Ruslan, because you had the passion. You saw her as an artist first, right? Am I correct with that? You saw her work? Is that how we...
Well, actually, she's my wife.
No,
No.
I'm saying for the second.
You heard it here first. This
for,
is exclusive.
For When
No,
Love
I mean,
Turns. I'm talking about For When Love Turns.
no, she's not my wife.
Yes.
Wife to be.
No, no, living for living in blood is my wife. But
Yeah.
no, yes, the Katya Mizintsev, yes, she's the animator, and she already did animation, and she's actually really good friend of our friend Ilya Popenko, which you've seen before. And yeah, she did it first animated video for him, and then she wrote us, and she's like, because I have this on the Instagram, I have a link to all my projects I've been with, and she noticed that she also liked other bands, and she asked if we need any help with the video. She'll be happy to help us. And I'm like, holy. All right.
So again, that wasn't a single. The idea wasn't to release a single.
No. There wasn't. Yes, there was a. And again, how do you pick up singles? They all great, and we
Less than a minute left.
Yes.
So, talking about the recording process, everything going in. Third record, we are celebrating that.
That's right.
What do you want the good people to know about
Cheers.
Crisis? Why should they listen, John?
Well, that is good, right? That's the existential question. Why should they? I have no reason whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a good question. I don't know. I would say I do think music, there's something about digital technology and computers that kind of, it's similar to the conversation we had before, that the powers that be lead us, or control us. So the tools that we use to make music kind of does a similar thing. So the easy access to software and samples and loops have kind of done something to music of where it's become more of like a how can I say it's not as personal as it used to be, and that's not saying that's good or bad. It's just the nature of the way we have access to sound. Just a few years ago, not too long ago, for you to have access organizing principles to make music, right? Because sound is sound, and music is a kind of sound that's organized. That's the difference between just random sound and organized sound. So we use different tools now to organize that sound. We used to use musicians to organize sound, and then you would use engineers to record the musicians organizing sound. You don't need to do that anymore. you can just use the computer to organize sound. It's already recorded. So the musician has become a different thing, and the engineer has become a different thing. Now it's more a consumer that has access to a computer and these tools that can just put these elements together, and we're calling that music. So that isn't what Sons of Venus is at all. Sons of Venus is more of this
Ooh,
traditional
I like that.
way. Yeah, so Sons of Venus is going back to the musician as the organizing principle, and then the medium is just capturing that organizing principle.
Right on. And
Well said.
to go back to what you were saying, and I think about this when it comes to Mississippi in general, a lot of these old blues artists that we could all argue influence the way that we view music today through, I don't know, rock and roll or whatever genre of music that you enjoy listening to today. And that was taught person to person. And what was taught person to person wasn't captured by an iPhone, or it wasn't by a field recorder. And then Fat Possum comes along and they actually did capture it. And what happened between that is good. It's a plus that it got out, because that changed the way and the shape that we look at music. B.B. King and everything going to Chicago and the whole landscape, Rolling Stones and everything that happened with all of that. Can't argue the good work that came out of that. But I think what I was picking up right there with what you were saying is there's a sense of realness, because it's so easy today to buy a MIDI controller and to just push a bunch of buttons, make a beat, say some things over it, and it goes out. It's a TikTok video, and next thing you know, you got 500,000 plays, and there's nothing behind it. There's no soul. It was just something that you did to go viral. And I don't know how to correct that for people. And I like to believe the best, that people see through that and that it's just some kind of a thing, but maybe they don't.
Yeah, maybe they don't. That's something we have to, realize. It's so interesting. So I'm also a blues purist by many means. Blues is really my archetype that I build everything that I do. Literally, the whole basis of how I create music and I think about music is completely 100% rooted in the blues, which means that I'm telling my story in real time from my heart in that moment. I never play the same note twice.
Essence of the blues right there, my friend.
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, and that's why I love having Igor with me and Ruslan with me, because they allow me that vulnerability of just letting out whatever I'm feeling in that moment. And in fact, they join with me and then they let theirs out, and we're able to do that together, where a lot of other music and a lot of music that I have to do as a session musician or as a producer or any other way that I have to facilitate my talents if I'm working with another artist, is that it all has to be kind of mapped out in a certain way, which is completely the opposite of what we do. It's like I'm ready to go with my feeling, and I show up with my heart, and I put it out there. And I'm so blessed that Igor puts his heart out there and Ruslan puts his heart out there, and then that's what we're doing. We're sharing that, and that's just like you're saying right there. That's the groove. That's the groove that's happening, and everything that we're doing is coming from there. And what's even more beautiful is if we can't find it, we don't stop. We don't question it. We have this faith that we know we will. So we just keep going through the darkness and keep playing. And then one of us, me, Igor, Ruslan, at one moment, there'll be a speck of light. And then we know one of us is going to catch it. And the minute one of us catches it, the other two just go, there it is.
There it is.
And then we're in. And when it's not there, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care. That's the difference with so many other people I play with there. It's what's going on. They close off. They get self-conscious. What's happening? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong.
Nothing's wrong.
Nothing's wrong. It's just that it's the nothing until the something. That's all it is. And it's beautiful because now we know that those flashes of light are just going to come. We just got to be ready to catch it.
Well, I
That's
mean,
all it is.
and thankful for Igor reaching out, because if it wasn't for him reaching out, someone like me in Alabama, Mississippi would never have had any idea who y'all were.
Exactly.
And now all I do is tell people about you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And just hoping
thank you.
and just hoping that someone likes it, because like I want you to come down here to play for us, but I also want people to be excited about you being here.
Yeah, we're
It's
gonna
like,
get down there.
yeah, what good does it do is like y'all run through and it's like no one comes.
You know, I have to tell you that, Alan, in 1987, I was touring with a group at the time called No Surprise. It was a band, and it was the first time I went to Memphis,
Okay.
and we jumped in the Mississippi River. We had a bus at the time, and when we got to the Mississippi River, and there it
Oh
was,
man.
we went and we just jumped in that Mississippi River because that is the Nile, right? The Mississippi, Memphis, all this is a metaphor for what's over in Egypt, right? That's the American Nile.
That
That's
is it.
there where the beginning of civilization started. And that's why from, New Orleans, Louisiana, all the way up through to Chicago is that bloodline. And that's the bloodline that runs through our music. It
That's
is
just
that.
it.
That's it. So by Igor reaching out to you, he knows this. He knows that river flows through our sound.
And I
He
really
knows.
appreciate it. Like Igor stays on me. He's like, promote, 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 go, go, go. And like I am continuing and like so thankful that he pushes me so hard because like I've never
It's
pushed
like,
this hard. Like I'm getting more no's than ever, but I'm pushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he made us. What can we do?
Yeah.
and
He's the father of sons.
as long as you don't tell me to fuck off.
I'll never
Everything
do
else
that.
Oh, that's great.
And by
Well,
no's, it's not
cheers,
y'all.
guys.
It's just in general. It's just like, would you leave me alone?
I mean, I got to be honest. I've gotten that before too, but I've definitely. I think I made more friends than foes. So
Yeah, it's good to put yourself out there. Igor Ruslan, with the full blown Crisis to Crisis third record of Sons of Venus. Now that it's out, oh man, and y'all did such great groundwork with the bass, with the drums. Now that it's over, what do you got to say, man? What do you got to say for yourself? What do you want people to know?
Oh my goodness. I really like how sound my cymbals. Well,
Yeah, that's good, right? We worked hard on that. You want to talk about how we did that? That's a little audio clip there.
yes.
So, I brought over to Ruslan's house. I don't know if you know this. You might know this a little bit, Alan, because I see you know music and you play and I can see you got the tech gear there. But you know what a Mackie board is, right? You know what a
Oh
Mackie
yeah.
is. So to any musicians, every musician knows what a Mackie board is. For layman terms, it's a mixing board of where all the instruments go into this piece of gear. So and then you have buttons and faders and sliders, and that allows you to balance the sound, and that can go to an audience or go to a recorder. So and Mackie is probably one of, if not the most popular brand, one of the most popular brands that
Mm-hmm.
creates these boxes. So inside Ruslan's house right now is my old Mackie board. It's the first one that they ever put out, the first model
Oh, check
Mac
that out.
board. I still have, and now it's in Ruslan's house because I run the microphones through that because that gets that old timey, warm, dirty, old school rock and roll drum sound just by putting the mics in that and then running it to the board. You get that old timey sound that you don't get if you just do something that you use today. You get like a digital board or a digital converter, you're just not going to get that same sound. And yeah, we're really happy with that. That came out great, especially the cymbals came out excellent. Yeah, yeah. Very
It's so
happy.
tasty. It's like, wow. And yeah, I've been looking for them, and it's so glad to hear them in the mix. They have like this dark and same time
Yeah.
shiny sound, and which doesn't trap the because I've been looking for cymbals. Those drummers. I mean, nothing against that. That I like to in the drums, hide my drums. To give other musicians to be here too. And sometimes wrong cymbals or loud drums can block the beauty of some notes or
Mhm.
musicians or instruments. And these cymbals, they are perfect because they are there, but you can hear all the notes and melodies and guitars and frequencies, and Sally did an amazing job. So, and I'm already just well, my guilty pleasure. I've been listening to that for the past few days since album already been released.
Crisis
Uh,
Crisis has truly been my guilty pleasure as well. I
yeah,
mean,
Love it.
because
wow,
it's the one
it's a
thing when you're
full
recording
work,
and
man.
listening, but when it's already up there, so you're listening as a listener, as
Yeah,
a fan of music, not as a band member. When I'm listening,
sure.
I don't not part of it. I have different ears,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, that's good songs, and I like the symbols.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Igor, what you got to say for
I mean,
yourself?
I think Ruslan kind of said it that once an album is out, you listen to it differently. It's out already. It has been born and it's out there in the world, and then you come back and you can enjoy it now as just a listener instead of just I mean
You
that
can't change anything. You can't tell
yeah,
to
that's
Sally,
it. It's
listen,
over.
John, maybe add something, or like that's it. That's it. You
What
can't change
happens
anything.
what happens to me is a weird phenomena. Like before I have other people hear the record and I listen to it, I can hear very clearly the things that I got right. But then once other people are listening to it, for some reason I can start to hear everything I got wrong. It's so
Oh
weird
man.
how that happens. Something changes in there, and I don't know what that is. That's something that keeps me working to try to get better and better at what I do. But I do find like once the record's out there, I already have to start thinking about the next one because I have to think, how can I make it better the next time?
I feel
It's a
that,
weird,
Which is
man.
good.
It's
yeah,
that post recording emotion.
yes, yeah, yeah, it
Is
might be,
once you've laid it down,
See,
it's mixed, it's mastered,
see, he
it's over. I mean,
Sally
what else
he's
you gonna do?
yeah,
There's nothing to do.
yeah.
It's over.
well, see, Sally is truly New Yorker because New York is never perfect. New York is always building and building and building and building. They build one great thing, they put another great thing on top of it, and great, 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 and never stops. So you can live New York for 20 years. It's not gonna wait for you. It's always building, building. So yeah, I think it's just mentality. Truly, mentality is like it's great, but not great enough. Let's do the greater.
Yeah.
Let's do it better.
It's true because when I'm working on it, I'm kind of standing next to it, and then once it's out, I step back, and then I'm like a New Yorker going,
Mm,
I'm
mm.
like, yeah, jaded, something like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've
Yeah,
noticed about New York and New York
yes,
people.
yes,
When I travel, like you go anywhere else, you notice that, for example, live in Boston, Washington D.C., they already, you know, they reach some point, they happy where they are. Some rules, some culture stuff. They don't really play with
No.
it. New York, which is like, no, let's do it over again.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. I relate to that big time.
So yeah, and it's definitely the music tells, it captures those moments and characters and the visions, and yeah, really, it's a great record, and I'm really proud to be part of it. I'm so happy and lucky that universe brought me to these incredible people, and we really done amazing stuff. Not even plan it. That's the best of it. We never actually had a plan. Let's do great stuff. It's just like, okay, so what time tomorrow? It's like, oh yeah, let's do the 6th. Or maybe 7th. Okay, let's do 6:30. All right, and
Sounds
2 days
like Porch
later, it's
talk.
like, oh god, we got a new song. Oh great.
It's great. What's great about this band is that we don't have to do a kind of music. Like, a heavy metal group has got to do heavy metal music. A country band has got to do country music. A reggae band's got to do reggae music. With us, it's an emotion. If we're playing heavy, it's because we feel heavy. That's why it's heavy. It's not heavy because we're a heavy band. And if we're playing super ambient, we're in that headspace.
Mhm.
So every choice, all the music that we play and the music that we make isn't based because we're that kind of band. It's based on that's the emotion that we're experiencing at that moment. So that's what's a lot of fun about the group.
I
Yeah.
like I like the way that you put that because I mean, so many bands, and I believe like fallout with fans when a band like progresses, maybe they've had 2 or 3 albums out, and hmm, this next album just really wasn't the same as the last one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then you're like, you got this disdain about it.
yeah,
Well, I really like the freedom you're taking. It's like, you know what? We're gonna do what we need to do.
yeah, yeah.
And like, but at the same time, is go ahead and let them know, don't get used to anything.
Yeah, we're hoping our audience basically is on the ride with us. They're gonna take the emotional journey as opposed to take the what can I say, the product that they bought. If they bought a particular flavor, then that's different. Then the band is serving the audience. Hopefully, with us, we're serving the music, and then the audience comes with us. That's hopefully what's
That's
going.
a big thing, dude.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
I
mean,
one
gotta
thing.
I gotta get a power cable. I'm gonna die here.
I think it's part of the fun. I mean, just that game, you
No,
know.
I mean, yeah, I started to put it perfectly. Yeah, we serving the music. We actually really
You
good
got to serve the song, right?
servants. Yeah, we actually serving the music. Yeah, not expecting anything from it. We just do it for laugh and fun.
Yeah, lucky. We're lucky to have that.
Yeah.
Igor or anything else?
Well,
I think, Alan, thank you. And cheers, man. I finished,
Cheers.
but
I
well,
have
cheers, fellas.
it's
Oh,
the
like,
only the
I'm
only
not
thing I
finished
haven't
with
drank.
y'all yet. I want 3 more questions out of
yeah,
Yes,
you.
got it, man.
yes.
Shoot.
It's coming a good southern storm here. I don't know if y'all hear that in the background, but
Nice.
allow the good people to know where could they get involved with Sons of Venus? Where can they find your music? Where can they connect with you on the platforms? He says right there.
Oh, the address where I live.
Is 23778 Walgreen.
2201. Um, I mean, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram right now. The album, we have 3 albums. They're all out on all digital platforms. I think we're, including SoundCloud, Spotify, uh, iTunes, Deezer. I don't know what else. What else do these kids use
Ah,
Yeah.
nowadays? What are these millennials? What do they use to listen to their stuff? No, but we're on all those
Pandora? Did you say
platforms.
Pandora?
Pandora, right? I mean, but Pandora mixes in stuff, right? You can't just like
Bandcamp,
yeah.
and
Well, Bandcamp, yeah,
Bandcamp's good.
yes,
Bandcamp's coming. I don't think it's on Bandcamp yet, right? It's coming.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have that there.
well, but they can find us there anyway.
They can
Yes.
find us, but they won't find this record yet.
Yeah, but they will.
But it's coming.
Coming.
It's
Hopefully
coming very
tomorrow.
soon.
Hopefully tomorrow I have some time to get it going
Yeah.
up there.
So
No,
yeah,
it's-
it's Monday. Just open the door; it's gonna come to your door.
Yeah. Uh, SoundCloud, I don't know. Oh, everywhere, man. If you put our name in a Google, like a couple articles will come out and stuff. We're definitely there.
And now, Alan, are there venues near you that you visit and go see bands and stuff? Yeah,
That's one thing that I've been working with Igor is lining things up.
cool.
Not only with y'all, with a lot of bands who have been coming on the show. That's really my whole thing for this year is I want
Yeah.
to create a southern circuit, whether
Nice.
it be from East Texas
Yep.
to East Georgia,
Yeah.
Florida, and then back up, whatever that looks like. I got a little black book
Yep.
and I'm building that list up, and I just need a little more time.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do
I'm
it.
working real hard, and
Yeah,
Igor
yeah.
can tell you. I bet Igor is frustrated with me, but hang with me.
It'll tell you. It'll come, and it is there. It is there. You're on the moment. Like there is kind of a circuit. Like if you come from New York, you go. You can go. We can play New York, then we can play Jersey. We come down Maryland, DC, all right there. Carolinas, all through there. There's all gigs.
Mhm.
Obviously, if we go
Savannah.
yeah, if we go to obviously Nashville and Memphis are right on
Mhm.
there too, no problem. And then of course, your neck of the woods, also northern Florida. There's a bunch of places right there, and then we can
Yeah.
scoot over to New Orleans and then go obviously Dallas, Houston.
My thing is, I really want to put y'all in like really sweet places, like house
Nice.
shows,
Yes.
and to play in the bars and the venues. That's cool, but I really want to put y'all in a house show environment.
It's great because
That
it's
would
like
be
a concert,
amazing.
more like a concert. Then, yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. Yeah, it's more like
That
a
would be
concert.
amazing. And I mean,
Yeah, I wanna heckle the shit out of Igor.
you're gonna heckle. It's not gonna happen, man. Anything you tell me to make this happen, I'll do it, man. I'll do it like
So I mean, we're all working, and
Yeah.
I mean, just give it some time, and things like this is making it more readily available. I think people are really getting fired up about this, man. I truly do, uh, and people are ready. I just got to finish lining the map.
Yeah.
I got to get it ready.
Yeah,
'Cause
we'll do it.
Yeah, I don't want you coming down to the south for, oh, here's 4 stops. Great.
Yeah.
We lost $500 doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. That's true. Yeah, but a good week. You can line up a week in a row. You get paid every night of that week.
Mhm.
That can get us. I always say a minimum for a week. That would be the minimum, I think, to make the money
Mhm.
back. But of course, even longer is better. But
Yeah,
yeah,
right
that's
on.
what I found. But I've done it. I've done that circuit a few times. It's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. Great people.
There's a lot of fun to be had here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I really want to put y'all up. And that's one thing about it is I'd probably take off work just to be like a roadie for that week and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to have you.
If there's
Yeah,
any
yeah.
way I can help you, man, take on some of the groundwork or whatever, I'll do it, man.
And
I'll
that's what I'm
tell-
saying.
tell me-
I am currently building it up, Igor. Like this
Cool.
is literally ground up. Like
All right, great.
I'm literally nobody trying to make this happen.
You'll do it.
Cool, man. Yeah, of
And
course.
we gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
All
I ain't
right.
no doubt about it.
And, of course.
Look at Ruslan's just having a damn good time over there. I'm a little jealous of his ass.
I know, man.
Well, like
Hey,
he, they,
he invited you, man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna come up there and see you, Ruslan. You don't forget about
Yeah.
that.
I'm not forgetting that. I'm the one who might. I have a room. Sally knows. You can stay.
I know
Right on.
too.
Well,
Yeah, you know too.
these are the sons of Venus. We have John Selly, Igor, Ruslan. Y'all gonna have anything left to say before we walk out of the door?
We love Alan. We love
Alan,
him.
We love
Alan.
We
Alan.
Oh,
love
my
him.
gosh.
Thank you so much, brother. We really
Thank you, man.
appreciate it. It's
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure to talk to you. Anytime we got some new stuff going on, we're going to reach out, let you know. And we should have some goodies soon. We're going to do some stuff's coming. But thank you so much. You give us a lot of inspiration, and knowing that you're out
Inspiration.
there and you're listening, we really, really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart, really.
All right,
I second that.
guys. Thank y'all so much for coming on Porch Talk. Y'all have a good evening. We're out of here.
All right,
Love
man.
Good night.
Night, peeps.
Bye.
Ciao.